Hello and welcome to another episode of Life Stuff 101. This is day 9 of the series of mini episodes as part of the Challenging Times Self-Care Challenge. My name is Mio Yokoi and I work as a registered psychotherapist in Toronto, Canada, and also as a coach and supporter to striving, highly sensitive folks everywhere. And before we begin, I'd like to mention that what I share on this podcast is for general information purposes only, and it's not meant to be specific advice. And for personalized help, questions, or concerns you may have, please consult your doctor or appropriate medical or mental health care provider. Welcome to day 9 of the Challenging Times Self-Care Challenge. The goal here is to give you a little daily something to add a bit of structure to your day to help with self-care. It's my hope that by building in some time for daily self-care might help to support your emotional and mental health during this challenging time. Or even if these daily prompts or challenges just act as distractions, even for just a few minutes in your day, I hope that can be helpful too. And I'd also want to make sure to repeat that this time in our lives, it's challenging. And just getting through day to day, moment to moment, minute by minute, in and of itself can be a lot. And these daily self-care prompts are here to support you. So this challenge isn't about being productive or getting things done or getting things done perfectly even. It's just about self-care and to just be able to take a few moments out of your day just to focus on yourself and how you're doing. And it's my hope that this challenge can help in some ways for you to take care during this challenging time. If you'd like to be notified when each of these episodes are uploaded, you can either subscribe to the podcast wherever you listen to podcasts, or you can also go on over to lifestuff101.com/challenge, which has a list of every episode. And for any resources that are mentioned in any of the episodes, they're listed in the show notes, which can also be found on each of the episode pages at lifestuff101.com. So before we dive into day 9 of the challenge, the day 8 challenge prompt was identify a physical or digital space or container for a self-care toolkit. The idea of creating an individualized mental health toolkit or toolbox is something that many of us mental health practitioners use in one way or another. We don't always call it that or term it that way, but taking time to know and to organize resources that are available to you when you most need it is a good strategy to employ. Because it's a way that you can actively engage in taking care of yourself, and that can also help to create a sense of what you can control too. And to have these resources, especially since your toolkit or toolbox is created especially for and by you, can be valuable tools to support you. Whether it's during super challenging times like we're going through right now, or at other times in your life, because inevitably there will be times when there are other challenging things that happen too, having this toolkit will be a resource for you so that it's there when you need it. And I hope you've started to create a self-care toolkit for yourself. Personally, I have a wooden box with a lid that I found at a thrift shop probably a couple years ago or so, which looks like something that someone made. So it looks homemade. There is something really quite DIY-ish about it, but organic, which is something that I quite like. And I went through it yesterday, my self-care toolkit, like my box, actually, in completing my prompt for day 8. And I added a couple of things to it, including a nail file to remind me that I feel good when I have my nails neatly filed down, and a compilation CD from the 90s by Much Music. They used to do that. They used to issue CDs of compilation music that was popular at the time. And because there were popular songs at the time, I can count on, it's like a reminder, it's a walk down memory lane, but it's also something that helps make me smile. So I'd like to know how you made out with day 8 of the challenge. What does your self-care toolkit or toolbox look like? Please reach out to me on Twitter at LifeStuff101pod, on Instagram at LifeStuff101podcast, or on the website at LifeStuff101.com. Now it's time to get into day 9. And today's self-care prompt is, who are the trusted people in your life? When it comes to taking care of ourselves and getting support, or if there's something going on, something that's on your mind, the advice that's often given is talk to someone. And talking things out and getting emotional support can definitely be helpful. But it can also sometimes not be so helpful. Have you ever had a situation where something was on your mind and you decided to talk to a friend or a loved one about it, but then to come out of the conversation not feeling any better? I know that I've had times when I've walked away from certain chats feeling worse about the things I was thinking about or worried about. Because who you can talk to can be a very important part of getting the support that's ultimately helpful and supportive for you. So today's self-care prompt is to create a list of trusted people in your life who you can rely on to help and support you. There's a saying I remember hearing a long time ago. It goes something like, if you want milk, don't go to the hardware store. And to keep going with this particular example for a moment, it can be helpful for us to know what store to go to get specific items. Much in the same way, it can be helpful to know who in our lives we can go to for certain kinds of support and help. It can also be helpful to identify the more reputable stores. So for instance, you can get milk at the well-established grocery store with plenty of people that's often busy, or the corner store that might have very little foot traffic. Maybe the milk at the grocery store, but the corner store might be okay for a more shelf-stable item. So when you're creating this list of trusted people in your life, you might also consider what areas they are trustworthy in. There may be someone in your life with whom you can trust for a general pep talk, but there might be someone who's trusted for helpful support when it comes to relationship advice, or another person who might be good at career advice or how to figure something out at work. Not everyone is an expert at everything, and not all experts are good at being good listeners or being supportive. So today's prompt is, who are the people in your life you can trust to be there for you, and what areas would they be best in supporting you? So here are your steps for today's challenge. Number 1, set aside 10 minutes today to dedicate to completing today's self-care prompt. Number 2, before beginning, take 3 deep, slow breaths. Number 3, make a list of the people you trust in your life who can help and support you. Also, make note of the areas where these people are strongest in. It might be by subject matter, like career, relationships, or someone who can support you through emotional difficulties. Or it might be what that person is naturally good at, problem solving, taking action, or listening compassionately. Number 4, this list of trusted individuals would be a great addition to your self-care toolkit, so I hope you consider adding it to your toolkit. Number 5, end off the exercise by taking 3 slow, deep breaths. I'd love to hear your thoughts about today's challenge, and I'd also like to know how you're doing. Please reach out to me on Twitter at LifeStuff101pod, or on Instagram at LifeStuff101podcast, or on the website at LifeStuff101.com. So that's day 9 of the Challenging Times Self-Care Challenge. Make a list of the trusted people in your life. Thank you for participating in these challenges, and stay tuned for day 9 of the Challenging Times Self-Care Challenge. Until then, please stay safe and in good health wherever you are in the world, and I'll be speaking with you again for day 10 of the Challenging Times Self-Care Challenge real soon.